Smarties, rockets. Smarties, rockets. Not Smarties. These are Smarties. Now that we've clarified that, let's get into this vlog.
Oh, Canada,
Our home.
Native land. Oh, Canada, our home and native
So welcome back to my channel, and you get a little bit of a mommy moment with my disgusting kitchen. Ow, sorry. But today, for the first day of the Read-Eh-Thon, today is the first day of the Canada Day, or the Read-Eh-Thon. So today, part of this vlog, I wanted to be able to make Canada foods, basically. So what we're gonna do is use my grandma's recipe for something called fairy dust cookies, but basically I'm just using it as a chocolate chip cookie base, and you can tell I use it a lot because like you can't even read it. And instead of chocolate chips, we're gonna use Smarties. Now I had a box of what Smarties are supposed to look like, but it got eaten. Anyway, Smarties come in a bunch of different colors.
When you eat the Smarties, do you eat the red one black?
This one is just red and white. So I saw this when I was at the store, and I was like, I need this for my Canada vlog, so I'm so excited. So the kids are gonna come in here and help me bake some cookies.
We got Smarties. We got Smarties.
Smell them. Smarties are superior to M&M's, just so you know.
Cookie. Making cookies. Cook.
So our first book of the Read-Eh-Thon. Summer North Coming by Dorothy Bentley, illustrated by Jessica Bartram. So this is a children's book, and it has nature on the cover.
The cover doesn't make sense.
Sophie Maya Ryland, may you find joy in every season. Dorothy. Aw, so sweet. Why doesn't the cover make sense?
Summer North Coming.
The title doesn't make sense. Maybe Dorothy can leave us a comment down below and explain what the title means to us. Right?
Summer North Coming. Paragraph Muscade Rose Tickle My Nose. Sophie's. Sun climbing warm.
Fragrant muskeg rose, tickle my nose, sun climb, warm shine, summer north coming. So the illustrations are beautiful. Summer pick berries. My father-in-law was just talking about what berries did he pick when he was a kid? Raspberries? Strawberries?
Yesterday we picked strawberries and mostly raspberries. We mixed it
From
in
Nana's
milk.
garden.
From Nana's garden.
Yeah. And I used to go and do blueberry picking and blackberry picking. That was in BC.
And
This is Alberta.
So what we did with the strawberries and the raspberries is we made a Canadian dish.
Apparently.
The 2 berries, put them in milk and with sugar, and it's really good.
My in-laws are from Quebec, and I was born in Alberta and grew up in BC. So their dishes are a little bit different than my Canadian dishes and like what my husband grew up with. He was born in Alberta, but his parents came from Quebec. So what they grew up with is different, like maple toffee and stuff like that, which I don't think we're going to be able to make maple toffee this week because you need snow for it. But my blender does have a snow cone option, so we'll see. Maybe we can make summer maple toffee. Who knows?
Summer maple toffee.
So pretty, hey? The end. Summer's coming. Yay.
Come to the movies.
Getting a massage while I read my book. So I'm just coming on here. It is 10:25 p.m. and I'm just got a little bit of a snack and I'm gonna do a little bit more reading. But I just wanted to wrap up. Sorry my AC is on. It is so hot in here. But I just wanted to do a little wrap up before closing out this vlog so I can edit it and upload it for tomorrow. I am not doing daily vlogs. It just worked out that today I was able to do one. So I got, my husband made this brioche bread, which is delicious. And it took him like over 48 hours to make it. And then that's just my homemade blackberry jam. And then a butter tart, because when I looked up what is Canadian food, apparently butter tarts are Canadian. Who knew? And I got my water. Usually I'd make like a tea or coffee, but I want to go to bed somewhat early because we got a busy day tomorrow. But just a little bit of water. So butter tarts, I just bought like the pre-made pastry shells, the flaky ones. It's one of those areas where I do not go no name with the pastry shells. It's just better to pay a little bit more. It just tastes that much better. Anyways, a butter tart is basically butter and sugar with raisins in it, baked in a tart shell. And I also made sugar pie, which was my husband's grandma's recipe on his dad's side. I don't know how well it turned out today, but we're gonna try it. We're gonna eat it tomorrow. But it's basically the same thing as a butter tart. I know, like when I first heard the words like sugar pie, I was like, that doesn't sound very appetizing. But it's basically a butter tart. It's like brown sugar, a little bit of butter, a scoop of flour, not leveled, and some milk and stuff like that anyways. And then you bake it and then you do a jiggle test. Like his cousins, when I went to Quebec 8 years ago, his cousins were trying to teach me how to make it like the way their mom or their grandma made it. And they're like, you just do the jiggle test, and if it's, you know, it doesn't jiggle too much, then it's done. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it's been pretty good so far anyways with that. So we read the one children's book, the Summer North Coming, which was good. And then I've been listening to Late Nights on Air, which is okay. It's not my favorite. The narrator isn't the best, but it's about a girl who travels, I think, across the country and ends up in Yellowknife and wants to work on the radio. I really don't know what's going on with it, but the narrating is not the best. And the way I have to listen to it on just like regular speed. So it's over 10 hours, just over like 10 and a half hours or something. So I'm like, oh, it's gonna take forever to get through it, but we'll see. I've already gotten down like 1.5 discs, and each disc is like an hour and 11 minutes out of 9 discs. So we'll see where I go with that. And I'm also reading Alan Doyle, Where I Belong. and it takes place in a little fishing village called Petty Harbor in Newfoundland. And I didn't know this, but there is a whale in the book, on the book. It's so cute. It's pretty interesting. I don't really listen to Great Big Sea music. It was just like what was popular when I was a teenager on the radio. I heard like the one song, but I don't typically listen to it necessarily. But like I said, my kids grabbed this out of one of those like little personal library things that you see sometimes in the front of people's yards and stuff. And I was like, sure, I'll learn a little bit about Canadian culture, I guess, and somewhere I've never been. So Late Nights on Air takes place in Yellowknife, which I've never been there, and then this Where I Belong takes place in Newfoundland, and I've never been there, so I've got that prompt covered. And then the children's book had nature on the cover, and it's a children's book, and that's also by a local author, so that's kind of cool. Anyways, in this, he talks about, he's got an older brother and sister, and then him, and then a younger sister, and his mom and dad, and he talks about how he grew up, and he never saw himself as like poor or anything like that, but it wasn't until he was 6 before they had a bathroom in their house with like running water and like a flushable toilet and stuff like that. But he put in a recipe how to make my mom's bread, because she'd make like 8 loaves of bread a week, and he put in this thing, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna wake up in the morning and make bread. But no, there's no real actual recipe. He's just like, how do you make a loaf of bread, Mom? Alan, honey, I don't know how to make a loaf of bread. I only know how to make 8. Alan, Mom, I'm trying to put your recipe in my book. Can you help me out? What ingredients do you use? Jean, his mom, I use a bag of flour. A whole bag? A 7-pound bag, and about a cup of butter and some salt in the palm of my hand. And then it just goes on like that. And that's kind of how my husband's cousins got the recipe for the sugar pie. Actually, they had to like, my father-in-law, one of his sisters had to like follow their mom around the kitchen, because she's like, oh, you just use a cup of sugar. But it wasn't like a measuring cup, 1 cup of sugar. It was like a cup that she just pulled out of her cupboard and used every time. So it's like, how much is that in actual measurement? Because every time they'd go to make it, it would be wrong. And they're like, you said a cup. And she was like, yeah, this cup. So it just kind of makes me laugh, the older generation's way of like cooking. And then a younger generation is coming in and trying to make it. But you have it in your head, right? You just know how to make it. And she even talks how to make the bread. She's talking about, like, you just get a feel for it. You just knead it until it feels right, kind of thing. And then you whisk it, and then when it gets too heavy for the whisk, I get my hands in there. I whack it. You whack it? Yes. And I knead it until I gets it right nice and doughy. So I thought that was kind of funny. And then what I just read, in case you're curious to know, it's kind of cool, interspersed between the story of like his childhood and stuff, is stories about like how the band got its name, the kind of music that they grew up listening to, and what influenced them and stuff throughout his childhood. Anyways, in case you were wondering, I learned how to cut out a cod tongue. So, you know, that's a useful skill for somebody who lives in northern Alberta and does not fish. Anyways, the story's really good. Actually, I'm enjoying it, and I'm at 101 pages, and it's 315 pages long, so I'm hoping to read to about the 150 mark tonight and hopefully finish it tomorrow. I don't normally read that much, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I got so many books to get to, and I want to get to all of them. I'm gonna eat my butter tart before bed, because that's a smart thing to do, and my bread and my jam, and do that while I am editing. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching this first vlog, and I hope you're having a good Read-A-Thon. Comment down below what you're reading and what prompts you are covering with the books you are reading. Bye!
When I'm up, I can't get down.